Hi, everybody. I'm Judy Markowitz, and I am librarian for the Harriet Tubman Department of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Sly, and I'm the librarian for psychology. And together we're going to walk through a couple of quick resources for how to put together some research for this kind of a topic and make ourselves available for further questions later in the semester. So I'll get started by going ahead and sharing my screen, and I'll show you how to get to PsycInfo. This is our main hub for psychology research here at Maryland, and probably your best bet for finding a lot of different resources for a course like this. So to get started, if we're on our main library's webpage, this is lib.umd.edu. You want to go to databases here, and we'll do the browse so you can see the scope of the databases that we have, but you could also type in PsycInfo here in this little box. But I'll go ahead and hit browse here, and then scan down to psychology. And in this little yellow box, you'll see our sort of best bets for all the different resources that we have here. This will be the same for every discipline. So if I go back to this large list, you'll see not only psychology, but you'll also see women's studies, for example. And you'll see databases and resources for women's studies also within this best bets. But I'm going to go back to psychology here, and we're going to scan down to PsycInfo. And once we're here, and the main thing that I want to show you with PsycInfo, you'll recognize this sort of basic search, the look of this basic search. Comes from EBSCO, and a lot of the databases will look the same, which is one quick note to always make sure you're looking in the right spot. So you'll want to make sure if you're searching for psychology research that it says APA PsycInfo here at the top. That means that you're searching within the PsycInfo database. PsycInfo has a lot of very powerful tools. And I know that for this particular assignment that you're looking at now, you're required to only find empirical research, empirical studies. PsycInfo actually makes that very easy. If you go down to the methodology section down here, these are the different limiters that you can use to narrow down your search. And you can actually just click empirical study. You can be a little bit more nuanced, and you can look up things such as longitudinal studies, various different things within empirical studies, including other models, qualitative studies, so on and so forth. But for the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and click it's a little funny, empirical study, just to get some big results in here. From there, the search terms that we're going to be using just to kind of find some material, we're going to look at body image. And you'll notice that, like the other databases, PsycInfo gives you some suggestions for how to search and broaden your search or narrow your search. We're going to first look at broadening our search by using the or in between different terms and kind of expand out the terms a little bit here so that we get some basic ideas here. We haven't quite narrowed down the search topic into our direct thing, so we're going to kind of expand this out as far as possible. So we're going to look at body image and representations in the media. So if I do media and it's going to give me some suggestions, television, internet, social media, advertising. This is a good general search here. This gives me a lot of stuff to work with. So again, I've entered in my search terms. I've made a very broad search to kind of get started. And then I've clicked empirical study to start honing in. There are other things that I can do in terms of parameters that I can look for in PsycInfo, such as selecting age groups. So if I wanted to specifically look at adolescents, for example, I can select that here. I could also select something like adulthood, young adulthood, etc. For the moment, I'm just going to keep it like that. And we'll see a number of results, good number of results here from there. You can continue to limit and refine your search by using things like subject limiters. You can just find the studies that are about body image, so on and so forth. You can further limit by age and various different other classifications here. Okay, so now that we have our list of results, we can kind of play with what we have and figure out what it is that we're actually looking for. When I put together this search, what I'm doing is I'm combining this set of terms with this set of terms so that the results that I get are the combination of both of these two boxes. That's what this and does. The or here gives me sort of a broader search. I'm saying body image or self-esteem or self-image, etc. I'm expanding, expanding, expanding. When I use this and limiter here, or a search term here, what I'm doing is narrowing by saying, I need these two boxes to connect. I need these two terms to connect, and I want the overlap of these things. This is a pretty broad search, and I've done that to kind of give an example of sort of the scope of the literature. But what we'll want to do, especially considering we have a ton of results here, we'll want to kind of chip away at this and make it into something a little bit more useful. A good example of how to do that is to start looking at the subjects represented by each study and trying to figure out if that's kind of the general direction that you're interested in. So if I look at this first one, for example, I can see, if I go down to my subjects, I can see a number of different subjects that may be interesting for my particular topic. For example, if what I'm most interested in when I say media is something like social media, that's what I meant by this. I wanted representation in Instagram or something like this. I could go to social media as my main search subject like this, and now start doing different searches in here, such as body image. Hello, everyone. Just a quick thing we noticed after we stopped recording. When you click on one of these records, like we did when we were just tracing down the subjects, we just went through how to find the subjects, trace them down. If you click on like a subject like this, like we just did, and you add in your other subject like we did as well here, you want to make sure when you search for these things, so you bring back your results, you want to make sure to go back and click on methodology again, and make sure to click empirical study again. This way you'll make sure to get only the empirical studies popping through for the most part. So just make sure to double check that little empirical study aspect at all times. It will show you here if it's selected or not. Okay. Now when I'm looking at these results, these all have, here we go, here's Instagram right here. We're starting to chip away and narrow down into something that's a little bit closer to what I initially meant. Still more work is needed, to kind of make sure that everything is exactly what we're looking for. But this idea of kind of taking the results you have and finding what it is that you're looking for is one of the first steps in doing this. I'll show you another way of thinking through that, and that's to go to these subjects here. A good step is to click the Show More button right here. What this does is this collects all of the different subjects that are within this huge result stream of, was it 1,100 results or something? It collects all of the different subjects that are represented in that body of literature and puts them into these little buckets here so that I can connect up the subjects in a pretty quick and easy way. So if I connect body image here with mass media, out of that 1,200 result list, I now can zero down into about 100 or so and pull these two things together in a very similar way to the way I just searched a moment ago. Now, about actually accessing the materials, University of Maryland Libraries has a couple of different ways of getting material based on where it exists. The easiest and most readily available are the PDF full text records like this. If you just click on one of these, you'll be given the full PDF, download, print, whatever it is you'd like to do. Other buttons that you'll see for accessing are the linked full text button, which I'll show you here in a moment, and the Find at UMD button. So this is sort of the definitely button. We absolutely have access to this study. This one is we have it, but it's just located somewhere else. You'll find it through a different database, which is easy enough to do because if you click this button, it takes you immediately there. So that's also very easy. And this is sort of the maybe button. If you find this, and you'll find this just sort of sitting alone in some results, if you find this button, this means that it will take you to the University of Maryland Libraries page for this record where you can access it either through a database or through interlibrary loan, if that's the only option available.
Okay, we're back to me now. So we have two other main resources that you can use. We have guides to psychology and we have guides to women's studies. So we'll go back to the psychology guide just for a minute. So Jordan has put together this guide with all sorts of information that you might find useful. And we know that throughout the semester, you're going to have different types of assignments. And so you can take a look at this psychology guide and see if your question can be answered there. And then we'll go to the women's studies guide, since this class covers both psychology and women's studies, and the same thing for women's studies. And you'll notice both of us have our names and our emails here. And what we'd like you to do, if you have questions as you're going through your assignments, is to please email us both together. Don't email Jordan and ask him a question, and then don't email me separately and ask him the same question. If you email us together, one of us will take care of it. So we are here to help you. So please feel free to get in touch with us. As I said, just email us together, and good luck on your assignments.